start building this thing. Alright, you will have to go back and tune up your path. Alright, so once you've done a little drawing, you might have to go back and tune it up. So let's take a look at what that might look like. Okay, so if I click on this drawing here, I might say, I don't really like it. So what I can do is I can go back and I can edit it. So I can go to the direct selection tool, click off, click on an anchor point, and I get handles, and I can drag the handles up. So let's say, I want to make this a little bit bigger. Let's say, you know what, I need to do some major changes, so I'm going to go to the add anchor point, and I can add an anchor right there. And now I have more handles to work with, so I can grab these and I can pull this up. Now I can pull this out, and I can continue to adjust it. I'll drag that one out, drag that one out. Alright, and let's say now like, I don't like this to being a corner anchor point. I want to make that round. So I can go to the convert anchor point tool, and I can click this, and I can make that a nice rounded one, and I can make this a nice rounded one as well. So you can just go back and you can start making major changes by using the combination of these tools. Okay? Okay, so layers are important. You've already probably have a decent feel for what a layer is. So here's layers. So what you can do is you can put the artwork on layers, and if you want to put something on top, you just drag the layer and you can move it on top. If you want to make it disappear, you can make it disappear. If you want to lock it so that it can't be messed with, that's a good idea. So it might be nice to put different things on different layers. So put your fins on one layer so that as you're building your fins, that it doesn't interfere with everything else. Okay? Alright, use separate layers for each shape. Give each layer a good name. It will save you time in the long run. So what I mean by that is when you make a layer, so right here this is the body, so what I should do is click on this and type in body. And click OK, and then if I put the fin up here, I click on this one and I type fin. Okay, when you are done, bring in your material and ask how to cut it out on the laser cutter. But one of the major ways, if you haven't done it already, is to make sure that the lines are like we said. Go through and adjust everything. So on this one right here, it's locked, so I can't do it. So on this one here, if I want that to be a cut, I would have to go to the colors, if I can find them. I can't see it at the moment, so I'm going to go Window and change the workspace so I can find things. Go workspace, I'm going to say like Photoshop, and my color should pop up. There we go. Okay, or you could just go Window and Color. Okay, so if I click on this, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to make it red 0 and 0, and that's going to be a nice cut, but it's not going to cut until I change this to 0.001, so I'm going to go through and change all that. Okay, so now that will actually be a cut on the project. Okay, so before we actually cut, I got a little ahead of myself. We have to add a logo, okay? So add the artwork, have your partner add it to their Google Drive. So here's what this is going to look like. So let's say I logged into my Google Drive. So here's me logged into my Google Drive. Here's where I'm keeping all my hovercraft stuff, right? And so let's say I need to share my work with my partner. Let's say I have the logo that goes onto the hovercraft. All right, so here is my logo that I drew, okay, and I need to share it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to drag it into my Google Drive, and it will, once I drag it into the Google Drive, it'll upload. It's not really doing it at the moment. I'm not sure why. Probably because I'm running a video and nothing works when I'm running videos. Alright, so you bring this over and then you drop it in, and then it downloads, and then eventually it'll pop up. There it is. Right, so I need to share it. So I right click and I click share, and I have to share it. Let's say I want to share this with Mr. Westfall. So what I would do is I'd invite people, and so I'd type in okay, and I find Mr. Westfall. There he is. I click, and I have to decide if he can edit it or just view it. So for this probably edit would be great, and then I'm going to click the send, and that will send him a an email, and then he can basically follow that link on the email and get it. Okay? Okay, so now on the other end of it, so now let's say that you finally get it to where you have it to where your neighbor shared it with you, you need it. So what you do is you're going to click on it and then download it and then open it. Okay, so I double clicked on it and it's opened. Now I'm going to download it, and it's going to put it down here at the bottom, and then once I double click on it, then it's going to open. So if we wait long enough, we'll see that it's going to be down at the bottom. Okay, so there it is. It popped right there. We double click on it and it will eventually open. Okay, so what you have now is when it opens, there's my logo, and then here's the hovercraft body. So what you probably want to do is you probably want to go View, or no, maybe Window, and we're going to arrange, and we're going to say, how do we want to do it? Maybe tile them. Okay, so we'll see both, and we'll make this full screen. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you want all of this over here. So we come over here, and so now I'm on this one. The problem is I've got all these layers, and I want all of those layers in there. So what I'm going to do is this. This is dangerous. Be careful. You can lose a lot of work, but I'm going to flatten this artwork. Okay. I'm going to hit yes. So I just lost a bunch of stuff, so I'm not going to save these changes. But now that I have this layer, I'm going to drag this layer into this project. Okay, let's try this again. So we're going to click on the ape. We're going to click on that to select everything. Okay, and then you're going to go to the move tool, and we're going to click and drag it on here. Okay, and so there it is. You can see it popped up. Let's go back here and let's undo, because we don't want to lose all of our layer. So let's go edit. We're just going to hit Control Z until we get all of our layers back, because we don't want, there we go. So we don't want to lose all that information. But now if we come over here and we can, let's go Window, Arrange, Float and Window. No, that's not what I want. Just go Window, Arrange. Let's go, which one is it? Consolidate all windows. There we go. So now we can click on one or the other. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to double click on the hand. Okay, and then so here's my ape, and it's right there. Okay, so I do not want this on this layer, so I'm going to click on this, this, and this, and this, and this. I'm going to go select all this, and then I'm going to deselect this stuff and put them on separate layers. Okay. So I'm going to cut out the ape. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to name that ape. Click OK. I'm going to lock these layers so it doesn't get pasted in the wrong layer. I'm going to press Control V, and then the ape gets put in a new layer, and then I'm going to shrink it down so it can fit. I'm going to hold Shift to constrain it. Okay, and so then I'm going to drag ape somewhere over here, probably make it a little smaller. Now, the deal with this is that the ape is not going to, well, it'll probably work out right. So it's black, so it'll actually probably work out just fine. So if I wanted to do any etching on it, I'd have to go to it, and I'd have to click on this, and I'd have to change it to blue and the stroke to 0.001. But I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so now I've got the artwork on there, and I think we're pretty well ready to go.